learning. The Tom Daniel Show. Keep listening, keep learning. The Tom Daniel Show.
You're listening to The Tom Daniel Show, and I'm your host, Tom Daniel. I want to tell you something before we get started here. This episode is personal. My wife and I are celebrating our 33rd wedding anniversary, and I wanted to mark that occasion in a way that was true to what this show is all about. So, naturally, I started thinking about wedding music. Specifically, those two pieces of music that show up at pretty much every American wedding. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. The room gets quiet. The organ takes a breath. Everybody stands up and turns around, and here comes the bride. And then there's the wedding service and yada, yada, yada. You may kiss the bride, and then... the recessional. Those two pieces of music, the processional and the recessional, are so permanently wired into what a wedding is supposed to feel like that most people have never once thought to ask where they even come from. Most people just assume they were always there, something ancient and sacred written specifically for the occasion. Well, they weren't. Neither of them. Both of those pieces came from places so completely unexpected that once I tell you, you're never going to hear them the same way again. And on the occasion of my 33rd wedding anniversary, I think that's the most romantic gift I can give you. A brand new way of seeing something you thought you already understood. So let's start with the big one. The one playing when the bride walks in. Here comes the bride. Or does she? The piece most people call Here Comes the Bride was written by 19th century German composer Richard Wagner. Its proper name is the Bridal Chorus. The original German title is Traulich geführt, which means faithfully guided. Faithfully guided. Oh, that's beautiful. Hold on to that. Wagner wrote it in 1848 as part of a romantic opera called Lohengrin, based on medieval German legend, King Arthur, Knight of the Holy Grail, that big world. Serious, ambitious stuff. So here's the story. A noble woman named Elsa has been falsely accused of murdering her own brother. She needs someone to defend her, and nobody steps up. Then, a mysterious knight shows up in a boat pulled by a swan, no less, and offers to champion her and marry her. But one condition, she must never ask his name or where he came from, ever. Well, she promises. Of course, who wouldn't? So they get married. The bridal chorus plays. Everybody celebrates. Then they go to the bridal chamber. Hey, hey, hey. And that's when everything falls apart. Other characters have been whispering in her ear all day. Who is this guy? Where'd he come from? What's he hiding? What's he up to? And on her wedding night, she just can't take it anymore. Elsa asks him. So he had to tell her. His name is Lohengrin, son of Parsifal, a knight of the Holy Grail. And because she broke her promise, because the secret is out, he has to go back to the swan boat, back to the realm of the Grail. He can't stay. He leaves, and Elsa dies of grief. So let me recap the wedding night here. Bridal chorus plays, party ends, husband leaves, bride dies. And here's the detail that really gets me. In the opera, the bridal chorus isn't even the processional. It's not sung while the bride walks to the altar. It's sung after the ceremony, as the wedding party escorts the couple to the bridal chamber. We borrowed it from the wrong part of the opera entirely. Now, to be fair to the opera, and this is actually the interesting part, there's a real debate about whether Elsa was wrong to ask. Now, some scholars argue she was right, that a marriage built on enforced silence and a forbidden question isn't really a marriage at all. Can you truly love someone you're not allowed to fully know? That's a genuinely profound question to have floating around at the start of a wedding ceremony. I mean, even if nobody in the room has any idea that that's what's happening. But the bottom line remains. The song playing as a bride walks toward the most hopeful moment of her life comes from a marriage that was over before morning. You're listening to The Tom Daniels Show, and we'll be right back.
The Tom Daniels Show.
Now, welcome back to the Tom Daniels Show, and only Mary Mac would turn the show's theme into a full wedding processional. Mary Mac is the world's most perfect band. Now, we've been talking about where American wedding music actually came from. We covered Here Comes the Bride and Wagner. So now let's talk about Mendelssohn and the fairy play. Felix Mendelssohn was 17 years old in the summer of 1826, and he was completely obsessed with Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. He'd loved that play since he was a kid. The fairy world, the enchantments, the lovers stumbling around a dark forest under love potions and falling for the wrong people, the fairy king picking a fight with his own queen and enchanting her as a prank. I mean, all of it. He loved all of it. That summer, at 17, he sat down and wrote a concert overture inspired by the play, one piece of music that captured the whole thing. Now, music scholars still describe that as one of the most extraordinary things that a teenager has ever produced musically. One leading critic of the era called it the greatest marvel of early maturity that the world has ever seen in music. But here's the thing, though. That overture is not the wedding march. Different piece entirely. 16 years later, in 1842, Mendelssohn, now in his 30s, one of the most celebrated composers in Europe, was commissioned by the King of Prussia to write a full set of incidental music for a court production of A Midsummer Night's Dream. He went back to the play he'd loved since childhood, and in that suite, that's when he wrote The Wedding March. Now, in Shakespeare's play, the wedding march kicks off the fifth act, the wedding feast. Duke Theseus is marrying Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons. 3 other couples are getting married that same night including the lovers who spent the whole play enchanted into loving the wrong people. The fairy king had enchanted his own queen into falling in love with a man who'd been turned into a donkey. Of course, by the time everyone gets to the wedding feast, it's been a spectacularly messy night. That's what the wedding march is playing over, a fairy comedy. Enchanted lovers, a donkey situation, a feuding fairy royal couple finally making up. And that triumphant recessional, the one playing as the happy couple walks back up the aisle, the whole room smiling, that's the piece, right in the middle of all that. Now, Mendelssohn himself, for what it's worth, had a genuinely happy marriage. He was devoted to his wife and known by contemporaries as one of the few great composers whose personal life was not a long list of disasters. His sister and fellow composer Fanny Mendelssohn died unexpectedly of a stroke, and Felix was so overcome with grief that he too died of a stroke less than 6 months later at 38. He never knew his wedding march would become the recessional at millions of ceremonies around the world. So, how did these two pieces, one from a doomed opera and one from a fairy comedy, become the permanent soundtrack of the Western wedding? It all goes down to one wedding, January 25th, 1858. Princess Victoria, that's the eldest daughter of the great Queen Victoria of England, and known to the family as Vicky, married Prince Frederick William of Prussia at the Chapel Royal in London. She was a serious music lover. Wagner and Mendelssohn were two of her favorites, and she wanted something different for her own ceremony, real music, music that meant something to her personally. So, Wagner's bridal chorus played as she walked to the altar. Mendelssohn's wedding march played as she and her new husband walked out. And that's all, folks. That's the whole thing. One princess, two composers she happened to love, one wedding in 1858. And we've been copying it ever since. Within a decade, the combination had spread across England, within a generation across the Atlantic. By the early 20th century, it was basically the default. So default that people stopped thinking of them as choices. They became what wedding music is. I mean, full stop right there. And by the way, the Victorian royal family really did have a gift for this. Princess Vicky's mother, Queen Victoria, was the one who made white wedding dresses fashionable. Before her, brides wore all kinds of colors. This family was practically in the business of inventing the modern Western wedding, one ceremony at a time. Now, look, you could tell this story as kind of a gotcha. Ha! Your sacred wedding music is from a tragedy and a fairy play. Isn't that absurd? Well, yeah, the irony is real, and I think it's kind of delightful. But I don't think that's the whole story here. Think about what Mendelssohn actually wrote. A Midsummer Night's Dream is a play about love that gets completely scrambled, confused, enchanted, turned upside down, and then finally sorted out. The people who end up at that wedding feast have been through the ringer. They've loved the wrong person, chased the wrong person, misunderstood everything in a dark forest, and when morning comes and the spells break, they come out the other side and choose each other anyway. You know what that sounds like to me? That's a good long marriage right there. And Lohengrin? Yeah, it ends in tragedy, but the question at the heart of it, the question that destroys the marriage, is one of the most genuinely human questions there is. Can you love someone without fully knowing them? Can a marriage survive on faith and mystery alone? Some scholars say Elsa was right to ask. That real love requires being known. It's not a bad thing to be quietly wrestling with at the start of a ceremony, even if no one in the room realizes it. Maybe these pieces found their way to weddings carrying more wisdom than anyone intended. art has a way of knowing things before we do. Now, a little personal note. 33 years ago, my wife and I walked into the chapel at Auburn University and the whole thing changed. We purposefully broke a lot of traditions that day in our wedding. Neither Wagner nor Mendelssohn was played at our wedding. When she appeared at the back of the chapel, I walked up the aisle, embraced her arm, and I was the one who walked her down the aisle. When we reached the altar space, the entire wedding party turned around and faced the audience so they could see our faces instead of the backs of our heads. As for the music, she and I created a song list based on our favorite songs at the time, and that's what was played. I don't remember every detail of that ceremony, but I will never forget her. What I now know after 33 years is that the music was the least of it. A marriage isn't a ceremony, it's what happens after everybody goes home. It's an ordinary Tuesday. It's a disagreement about something small that turns out to be something big. It's the moment when you're tired and the person across the table says exactly the right thing without knowing you needed it. 33 years is a long time to keep choosing the same person, and I would do it over and over for 33 straight years. My beloved armadillo, this one is for you. Thank you, everybody. This has been the Tom Daniels Show. Keep listening. Keep learning.
Keep listening, keep learning. The Tom Daniels Show. Keep listening, keep learning. The Tom Daniels Show. Take a break from your usual routine and tune into the Tom Daniels Show. You'll discover the world of melodies and stories that you might not know. Keep listening, keep learning. The Tom Daniels